It's been another busy week at Leeds Crown Court, with criminals sent behind bars for all manner of crimes. They include a radiographer who sexually assaulted men while they slept and a treasurer of a village social club who stole $38,000 from its coffers to feed his gambling addiction. Vile pervert David Dunn was jailed for 12 years for drugging a young boy's drink in order to sexually abuse him. Dunn added drugs or alcohol to the boy's cup of tea so he could sexually assault him, Leeds Crown Court was told. He then made threats to kill the boy's family members if he told anyone. The 39-year-old was convicted of sexual offenses against 2 children committed more than a decade ago. They include the rape of a child and causing a child to engage in sexual activity. There was also a sadistic thief who repeatedly kicked and punched a man in the head while he stole from him, and a vile pervert who drugged a young boy before blindfolding him in order to sexually abuse him. Oliver Huff, 30, from Leeds, was jailed for 43 months after sexually assaulting 2 men while they slept. Huff groped a man who he was sleeping next to following a party in Hertfordshire in 2020, and then sexually assaulted a man who was asleep at his home after a night out in Leeds in January this year. Huff lost his job as a radiographer after he was charged and suffered with serious depression after his arrest. A sadistic thief knocked a man unconscious in the middle of a Leeds road before continuing to kick and punch him in the head as he robbed him of his possessions. Horrified onlookers witnessed Sean McGlinchey kicking the man with such force it moved his lifeless body. The victim was left with a bleed to the brain, a fractured eye socket, cheekbone, leg, and hip. Passers-by called police on April 29 when they witnessed the stricken victim, with his trousers around his knees, unconscious, face down on Colton Road, Armley. McGlinchey, who was seen rifling through the man's pockets as he delivered powerful punches and kicks to the head, was jailed at Leeds Crown Court for 6 years. Bradley Wright was jailed for 27 months over a prolonged bout of violence against his ex-partner, during which he locked her in her home and held a carving knife to her neck. Wright, 20, from Wakefield, held the woman's head under the water while she took bath, throttled her, spat in her face, tried to force her to take mouthfuls of pills, smashed up her items and threatened to kill himself, claiming she had driven him to it. After being arrested and bailed, Wright then turned up to the woman's house and threatened to kill himself if she didn't drop the charges. He later pleaded guilty on the day of trial to coercive behavior, a BH, intimidating a witness, common assault, and criminal damage. The treasurer of a village social club has been jailed after he siphoned almost $38,000 cash from its coffers to feed his gambling habit. Trusted Jeff McGann was made treasurer of the Gawthorpe Conservative Club in Gawthorpe, near Wakefield, in 2014, but was harboring a secret about his addiction. He even took out loans to pay back part of the money he had frittered away, but then also gambled that away as he desperately tried to recoup his losses. The 53-year-old eventually confessed after he ran out of road and could borrow no further money to cover his tracks. He was jailed for 20 months at Leeds Crown Court this week, after he admitted a charge of fraud by abuse of position. Drug-dealing thug Jordan Haynes punched a woman in the face and told her that she took it like a man before punching her again, breaking her nose and eye socket. 25-year-old Haynes, from Armley, was jailed for almost 5 years for the vicious attack on the woman at her own home and for dealing in crack cocaine. Following a police raid, police discovered almost 8 grams of synthetic cannabis, spice, worth around $150, and 84 individual deals of crack cocaine worth $840 that was found hidden in a cavity behind the wall-mounted mirror in the living room. They also found $1,030 in cash, $400 of which was determined to be from illegal activity. Haynes then attacked the woman at a party while on bail for the drug offenses. David Carrasco was jailed for 3 years for a string of serious offenses against his former partner that included violently assaulting her and making threats to kill her. The 34-year-old from Bramley lost his temper during his sentence at Leeds Crown Court this week, telling the judge, "Just tell me my sentence, I can't be arsed." As Carrasco was making the outburst, the judge told him, "You are a bully and engaged in behavior of the gravest kind towards your partner and her family. You have a serious inability to control your anger." He was also issued with a 12-year restraining order to keep him away from the victim and her family. Albanian trainee teacher Denis Bejdaj worked as a gardener at a 143,000 cannabis farm at a Leeds house. After getting himself into debt trying to help treat his mother's type 1 diabetes, Bejdaj borrowed cash to help treat his mother, then thought the quickest way to clear the deficit was to illegally come to England and work, adding to his debt as payment for being smuggled into the country. Police found the 24-year-old in the cellar of the property in Holbeck, where there were 130 plants growing around the home. Bejdaj, who dropped out of studying to be a teacher in Albania to travel to England, was jailed for 21 months. A woman abused by aging Leeds pedophile Dennis Coe when she was younger said she continues to be haunted daily by his twisted actions. 15 years later, Coe, who is now 74, was jailed for 7 years at Leeds Crown Court this week after being convicted of the abuse following a trial. In a victim impact statement, the woman said, "I feel like the abuse has cheated me out of something precious. It always plays a role in my present, and I can't be free of my memories. It's something I will have to deal with for the rest of my life." Coe, of Winrose Hill, Belle Isle, denied all offenses but was found guilty of 5 counts of causing or inciting a child under the age of 13 to engage in sexual activity, 3 counts of sexual assault, and 1 of paying for the sexual services of a child.